Imagine a secretive order of warrior monks, shrouded in mystery, revered for their faith, feared for their power, and surrounded by whispers of untold riches and hidden knowledge. This was the Knights Templar, an organization that not only shaped the course of medieval history, but left an indelible mark on the world we know today. Their rise was meteoric, their influence unparalleled, and their fall nothing short of spectacular. But behind the legends of this enigmatic order stood 25 extraordinary leaders whose lives were filled with ambition, courage, and ultimately, tragedy. These were men who wielded immense power, commanded armies, and shaped the destiny of nations, yet their fates remain some of history's most captivating and haunting stories. What drove these leaders to such heights of greatness, and what led to their dramatic downfalls? What can their lives teach us about leadership, loyalty, and the perils of power? Today, we embark on a journey to uncover the lives and legacies of the 25 most distinguished leaders of the Knights Templar, exploring their triumphs, their struggles, and the events that sealed their destinies. From the battlefields of the Crusades to the shadowy halls of political intrigue, these men stood at the heart of one of history's most fascinating and controversial orders. Their stories are not just tales of the past, but reflections of the timeless human quest for purpose, power, and legacy. As we delve into their lives, we'll uncover the secrets of their rise, the forces that shaped their decisions, and the dramatic circumstances that led to their ultimate fates. Whether you're a history enthusiast or simply curious about the lives of these remarkable figures, this exploration promises to be a gripping and thought-provoking journey. The Knights Templar may have vanished from the world centuries ago, but their legacy and the stories of their leaders continue to captivate and inspire. So, let's step back in time to uncover the lives of these 25 men who shaped history, faced unimaginable challenges, and left behind a legacy that still echoes through the ages. Their stories are waiting to be told, and the lessons they offer are as relevant today as they were hundreds of years ago. Are you ready to uncover the truth behind the Knights Templar and their legendary leader? Let's begin. The Knights Templar emerged in a world gripped by faith and turmoil. Born in the year 1119 during the height of the Crusades, their founding was a response to a pressing need protection for Christian pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land, a journey fraught with danger and uncertainty. Jerusalem, recently captured by Crusader forces, had become a focal point of religious devotion, but the roads leading to it were perilous, plagued by bandits and hostile forces. Into this chaotic landscape stepped Hugues de Payens, a nobleman from Champagne in France, who envisioned a new kind of brotherhood, one that combined the discipline of monastic life with the skills of a warrior. Along with 8 fellow knights, he founded the Poor Fellow Soldiers of Christ and of the Temple of Solomon, later known as the Knights Templar. Their mission was clear: to safeguard pilgrims and defend the Christian presence in the Holy Land. But their early days were far from easy. With limited resources and no formal recognition, they faced immense challenges. Their breakthrough came through the support of Bernard of Clairvaux, a highly influential abbot and theologian who saw their potential and championed their cause. His endorsement was pivotal, leading to the official recognition of the order by the Church at the Council of Troyes in 1129. With this backing, the Templars began to grow, attracting recruits, donations, and land across Europe. Their distinctive white mantles adorned with a red cross became a symbol of their faith and purpose. As their influence expanded, so did their responsibilities. transforming them from humble protectors into a powerful and respected force. But this was just the beginning. The vision of Hugues de Payens laid the foundation for an order that would shape the course of history, setting the stage for the remarkable leaders who would follow in his footsteps. These men would inherit not only his legacy but also the challenges and opportunities that came with it, guiding the Templars through their rise to prominence and the trials that would ultimately define their fate. Hugues de Payens was a man shaped by the turbulent world of the late 11th and early 12th centuries, a time when the call to reclaim the Holy Land resonated deeply across Europe. Born into a noble family in the region of Champagne, his early life was marked by the values of chivalry and piety, ideals that would later define his leadership. When the First Crusade culminated in the capture of Jerusalem in 1099, it sparked a wave of religious fervor, drawing countless pilgrims to the sacred sites. Yet the journey was perilous, and Hughes saw firsthand the dangers facing these travelers. Driven by a blend of faith and duty, he gathered a small group of like-minded knights, united by a shared purpose, to protect those making the pilgrimage to Jerusalem. Their initial headquarters was established near the Temple Mount, believed to be the site of Solomon's Temple, which gave the order its name. Hughes' leadership was characterized by a unique blend of humility and determination. Unlike many leaders of his time, he did not seek personal glory, but instead focused on the collective mission of the order. His ability to inspire loyalty and discipline among his followers was crucial in shaping the early identity of the Templars. A turning point came when he sought the support of Bernard of Clairvaux, a leading figure in the Cistercian order. Bernard recognized the potential of Hughes' vision and became a powerful advocate, helping to secure papal recognition for the Templars at the Council of Troyes in 1129. This endorsement not only legitimized the order but also provided it with a clear rule of life, blending monastic vows with martial discipline. Under Hughes' guidance, the Templars began to expand their influence, attracting recruits and donations across Europe. His leadership laid the groundwork for the order's future success, establishing principles of organization and purpose that would endure for centuries. Hugues de Payens passed away in 1136, leaving behind a legacy that transcended his lifetime. His vision had transformed a small band of knights into a formidable force, setting the stage for the remarkable leaders who would follow. His death marked the end of an era but also the beginning of a new chapter in the history of the Knights Templar, one that would see them rise to unprecedented heights. Robert de Crayon, the second Grand Master of the Knights Templar, brought a distinctly different leadership style to the order, one marked by diplomacy and strategic vision. Unlike Hugues de Payens, whose focus was on establishing the Templars' foundational mission, Robert faced the challenge of consolidating their growing influence. His tenure, beginning in 1136, coincided with an era of increasing complexity in the Crusader states, where political alliances were as vital as military strength. Known as the diplomat, Robert excelled in navigating these intricacies, forging connections with powerful figures across Europe and the Holy Land. One of his most significant achievements was the expansion of the Templars' financial resources. Recognizing the importance of economic stability, he encouraged donations of land and wealth from noble families, ensuring the order had the means to sustain its operations. Under his leadership, the Templars began to amass an extensive network of estates, which not only funded their activities but also enhanced their political leverage. Robert also played a pivotal role in the development of the Rule of the Templars, a foundational document that codified the order's operations, discipline, and spiritual life. This rule, influenced by both monastic traditions and military necessity, provided a clear framework for the Templars' unique dual identity as both monks and warriors. It emphasized obedience, humility, and communal living, while also addressing practical matters such as the management of resources and the conduct of warfare. Beyond administrative reforms, Robert demonstrated his strategic acumen in defending the Crusader states. He understood the importance of maintaining strongholds and securing supply lines, ensuring the Templars could effectively support the broader Christian presence in the region. His ability to negotiate with local leaders and rival factions often averted conflict, showcasing his talent for diplomacy. Robert de Crayon's leadership laid the groundwork for the Templars' continued growth, blending military prowess with political savvy. His successors would inherit a stronger, more organized order, poised to become one of the most influential forces of the medieval world. Through his efforts, the Templars became not just a band of knights but a formidable institution, deeply embedded in the fabric of Crusader society. Everard despars stepped into the role of Grand Master during one of the most challenging periods in the history of the Knights Templar, the Second Crusade. This campaign, launched in 1147, was marked by fierce battles, logistical nightmares, and political infighting among the Crusader leaders. As the third Grand Master, Everard faced the daunting task of not only leading the Templars through this chaos, but also ensuring their survival and relevance in the aftermath. His leadership style was defined by pragmatism and a keen ability to adapt to rapidly changing circumstances. During the Crusade, the Templars served as a disciplined and highly effective fighting force, providing critical support to the Crusader armies. Everard's strategic decisions often proved decisive. For example, he organized the defense of key supply routes, ensuring that the Crusader forces maintained access to essential resources even in the face of relentless enemy pressure. Yet, despite these efforts, the Second Crusade ultimately ended in failure, with the Crusaders unable to achieve their primary objectives. In the wake of this defeat, Everard demonstrated remarkable resilience. He focused on rebuilding the Templars' strength, both militarily and financially, recognizing that the Order's survival depended on its ability to adapt to the new realities of the Holy Land. Under his guidance, the Templars continued to expand their network of fortifications and financial holdings, laying the groundwork for their future prominence. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of Everard's story is his eventual decision to step down as Grand Master. In 1151, after years of tireless service, he retired to a Cistercian monastery, dedicating the remainder of his life to contemplation and spiritual pursuits. This decision was both surprising and symbolic, reflecting the deep personal faith that had always underpinned his leadership. Everard's resignation also set the stage for a new chapter in the Templars' history, as his successors would build on the foundations he had laid. Through his crisis management and unwavering commitment, Everard despars ensured that the Knights Templar emerged from the Second Crusade not as a defeated force, but as an institution poised for greater influence in the years to come. His legacy is a testament to the power of resilience and adaptability in the face of overwhelming challenges. Bertrand de Tremelle, the fourth Grand Master of the Knights Templar, became a symbol of unwavering courage and sacrifice, forever remembered for his dramatic and tragic end during the siege of Ascalon in 1153. Known for his fearless leadership and unyielding commitment to the Templar cause, Bertrand faced one of the most critical moments in the Order's history when the Crusader forces sought to capture the strategically vital city of Ascalon. This fortress, held by the Fatimid Caliphate, was a key stronghold that threatened the stability of the Crusader states, and its capture was deemed essential for securing the region. Bertrand's role in the siege would cement his legacy, though not in the way he might have hoped, As the battle raged on, the Crusaders managed to breach the city's walls, and Bertrand, seizing what he believed was a decisive opportunity, led a small contingent of Templars through the gap. His decision to advance without waiting for reinforcements was both bold and perilous. The Templars fought valiantly, but they were quickly overwhelmed by the defending forces. Bertrand and nearly all of his men were killed in the ensuing conflict, their bodies left within the city walls as a grim reminder of the cost of their audacity. The loss was devastating, not only in terms of lives but also for the morale of the order. Yet, Bertrand's martyrdom had a profound and unexpected impact on the Templars and the broader Crusader community. His willingness to lead from the front and sacrifice himself for the cause became a source of inspiration, reinforcing the Templars' reputation as fearless warriors devoted to their mission. In the aftermath of the tragedy, the Order faced the difficult task of rebuilding its strength and morale. The task fell to Bertrand's successor, who inherited not only the responsibility of guiding the Templars through this period of grief, but also the challenge of ensuring that Bertrand's sacrifice was not in vain. The siege of Ascalon would ultimately end in a Crusader victory, but the cost of that triumph was a stark reminder of the perils of leadership and the heavy burden carried by those who sought to defend the Holy Land. Bertrand de Tremelle's story is one of heroism and tragedy, a testament to the enduring spirit of the Knights Templar in the face of overwhelming odds. André de Montbard, the fifth Grand Master of the Knights Templar, emerged as a stabilizing force during a tumultuous period in the Order's history. As a close ally and uncle of Bernard of Clairvaux, the influential Cistercian abbot who helped shape the Templars' early identity, André brought a deep sense of spiritual dedication and practical leadership to his role. His tenure began in the aftermath of the Second Crusade, a campaign marked by significant losses and setbacks for the Crusader states. The Templars, like many others, faced the challenge of rebuilding their strength and morale in the wake of these defeats. André's leadership was characterized by his ability to balance the Order's dual mission of military defense and spiritual devotion, ensuring that the Templars remained a formidable force in the Holy Land. One of his primary goals was to bolster the Order's military capabilities. He recognized the importance of maintaining a well-trained and disciplined fighting force, essential for protecting pilgrims and defending Crusader territories. Under his guidance, the Templars continued to refine their tactics and expand their influence, solidifying their reputation as elite warriors. Equally important was his focus on the Order's financial resources. André understood that the Templars' success depended not only on their battlefield prowess, but also on their ability to sustain themselves economically. He worked tirelessly to secure donations, manage estates, and establish a network of financial support that would underpin the Order's operations for years to come. Beyond these practical efforts, André was deeply committed to preserving the Templars' spiritual integrity. He sought to reinforce the Order's connection to its founding ideals, emphasizing the importance of humility, piety, and service. His leadership during this critical period helped ensure that the Templars remained true to their mission, even as they navigated the challenges of a changing world. André's death in 1156 marked the end of a significant chapter in the Templars' history. His legacy as a steadfast protector and visionary leader would influence the Order's trajectory in the years to come, leaving behind a foundation of strength and resilience for his successors to build upon. Bertrand de Blanchifort, the sixth Grand Master of the Knights Templar, assumed leadership during a time of immense challenge and transformation. His tenure, beginning in 1156, would prove pivotal in shaping the Order's future, earning him a reputation as one of its most influential reformers. Early in his leadership, Bertrand faced a profound test of his resolve when he was captured by Muslim forces during a military campaign. This period of captivity was not just a personal trial, but also a moment that would define his leadership style. Upon his release, Bertrand returned with a renewed sense of purpose, determined to strengthen the Templars against the vulnerabilities that had led to his capture. One of his most significant contributions was the reorganization of the Order's command structure. Recognizing the need for greater efficiency and cohesion, Bertrand implemented reforms that streamlined decision-making and enhanced the Templars' ability to respond swiftly to threats. He also focused on fortifying the Order's military presence in the Holy Land, ensuring that their defenses were both robust and adaptable to the ever-shifting dynamics of the region's conflicts. Beyond his military innovations, Bertrand was deeply committed to the spiritual and operational integrity of the Templars. He worked to reinforce the Order's adherence to its core principles, while also adapting to the practical demands of their mission. His leadership during this period of reform and resilience helped the Templars navigate the complexities of their dual role as warriors and guardians of faith. Bertrand's legacy as a reformer left an indelible mark on the Order, setting the stage for future successes. His efforts laid the groundwork for a more unified and effective Templar organization, capable of facing the challenges of a rapidly changing world. As his time as Grand Master drew to a close, the Templars entered a period of relative stability, a testament to the enduring impact of his reforms. His successor would inherit an order better equipped to navigate the complexities of the Holy Land, thanks in large part to Bertrand's visionary leadership. Philip of Nablis, the 7th Grand Master of the Knights Templar, took the helm of the Order in 1169, but his leadership would be notably brief. Despite his short tenure, Philip's impact on the Templars' military strategy and operations was significant. Known for his tactical acumen and dedication to the cause, Philip played a crucial role in several key campaigns during his time as Grand Master. His leadership was marked by a focus on consolidating the Templars' presence in the Holy Land, ensuring their forts and strongholds were well prepared for the challenges ahead. However, after just 1 year, Philip made the surprising decision to resign from his position. The reasons behind his departure remain shrouded in mystery, with some historians suggesting personal or health-related factors, while others speculate there may have been internal disagreements within the Order. Whatever the cause, his resignation left the Templars at a critical juncture. Despite the abrupt end to his leadership, Philip's contributions to the Order's military efforts were undeniable. His strategic initiatives helped strengthen the Templars' defenses and position them for future conflicts. Following Philip's resignation, the Order turned to Odo of St. Amand as his successor. Odo inherited a delicate situation as the Templars faced the growing threat of Saladin, whose rise to power would soon reshape the balance of power in the region. The transition from Philip to Odo marked a turning point for the Templars as they prepared to face one of their most formidable adversaries in the years to come. Though Philip's time as Grand Master was short, his influence on the Order's military readiness ensured his legacy endured, even as the Templars entered a new and uncertain chapter in their history. Odo of St. Amand, the 8th Grand Master of the Knights Templar, stepped into leadership during one of the most tumultuous periods in the Order's history. Taking the reins in 1171, Odo faced the growing threat of Saladin, whose forces were rapidly gaining strength in the region. Known for his unyielding resolve and fierce loyalty to the Templar cause, Odo quickly became a symbol of resistance against the Muslim leaders' advances. His leadership was put to the test at the Battle of Montbard in 1179, a clash that would forever mark his legacy. During the chaos of the battle, Odo was captured by Saladin's forces, leaving the Templars without their leader at a critical moment. Despite being offered the possibility of ransom, a common practice for captured knights, Odo refused. His decision was rooted in the Templar vow of poverty and humility, as accepting ransom would have been seen as a violation of these principles. Instead, he chose to remain in captivity, a testament to his unshakable commitment to the order. Tragically, Odo died in prison, his sacrifice becoming a powerful symbol of the Templars' devotion to their cause. His death was a significant blow to the order, not only because of his leadership but also because it came at a time when unity and strength were desperately needed. The loss of Odo left the Templars in a precarious position as they prepared to face even greater challenges in the years ahead. His successor, Arnold of Toroja, inherited a daunting task, defending Jerusalem against Saladin's relentless campaigns. Odo's unwavering dedication and ultimate sacrifice became a defining chapter in the Templars' history, inspiring future generations of knights to uphold the ideals of courage and selflessness, even in the face of overwhelming odds. Gerard de Montfort, the 9th Grand Master of the Knights Templar, remains one of the most polarizing figures in the Order's history. Rising to power in 1185, Gerard was known for his fiery temper and aggressive approach to warfare, qualities that often clashed with the more cautious strategies of his contemporaries. His leadership marked a turning point for the Templars, as his decisions would have far-reaching consequences for the Order and the broader Crusader states. One of the most defining moments of his tenure came in 1187 at the Battle of Hattin, a catastrophic defeat that would alter the course of history in the Holy Land. Determined to confront Saladin's forces head-on, Gerard pushed for a direct engagement against the advice of more seasoned military leaders. His impetuousness led the Crusader army into a disastrous trap. Surrounded and cut off from water in the scorching heat, the Christian forces were decimated and thousands were captured or killed. Among the losses were many of the Templars' most experienced knights, a blow that severely weakened the order. The fall of Jerusalem soon followed, a devastating outcome that underscored the magnitude of Gerard's miscalculations. Critics of his leadership point to his stubbornness and lack of strategic foresight as key factors in the defeat. Captured by Saladin after the battle, Gerard met a grim fate. Unlike some of his predecessors, he was not offered the chance of ransom or negotiation. Instead, he was executed, a stark reminder of the high stakes of leadership in this turbulent era. Gerard's legacy is one of controversy, his actions often seen as hastening the decline of the Templars' influence in the Holy Land. Yet, his leadership also serves as a cautionary tale, highlighting the consequences of unchecked ambition in times of crisis. His successor, Robert de Sablé, inherited a fractured order, tasked with rebuilding its strength and restoring its reputation in the face of mounting challenges. Gerard's story remains a poignant chapter in the Templars' history, a reminder of the fragile balance between courage and prudence in the pursuit of a greater cause. Robert de Sablé, the 10th Grand Master of the Knights Templar, brought a fresh perspective to the order during a critical period of recovery and reinvention. Ascending to leadership in 1191, Robert was not only a seasoned warrior, but also a masterful strategist with a keen understanding of maritime power. Recognizing the growing importance of naval dominance in the Mediterranean, he dedicated significant resources to expanding the Templars' fleet, transforming them into a formidable force at sea. This shift marked a strategic evolution for the Order, as control over trade routes and coastal strongholds became essential to their survival and influence. Robert's vision extended beyond the battlefield, positioning the Templars as key players in the broader geopolitical landscape of the Crusader states. His alliance with Richard the Lionheart, one of the most celebrated figures of the Third Crusade, further elevated the Templars' standing. Together, they worked to reclaim key territories lost to Saladin, including the pivotal capture of Acre in 1191. Robert's leadership during this campaign demonstrated both military prowess and diplomatic skill as he navigated the complex dynamics between Crusader factions. Despite these successes, Robert's tenure was not without challenges. The Templars faced mounting financial pressures, and the Order's expansion required careful management of resources. Robert's ability to balance these demands while maintaining their military effectiveness was a testament to his leadership. Upon his death in 1193, Robert left behind a legacy of resilience and innovation. His successor, Gilbert Horrell, inherited an order that was stronger and more strategically positioned than it had been in years. Yet, the changing tides of the Crusader world would soon test the Templars' adaptability once more. Robert de Sablay's contributions remind us of the importance of foresight and flexibility in leadership, qualities that would continue to shape the Templars' journey in the decades to come. Gilbert Horrell, the 11th Grand Master of the Knights Templar, stepped into leadership during a time of shifting alliances and fragile peace in the Holy Land. Known for his diplomatic finesse, Gilbert sought to navigate the treacherous political landscape through negotiation rather than relentless conflict. Unlike many of his predecessors who relied heavily on military might, Gilbert believed that dialogue with Muslim leaders could secure stability for the Crusader states. This approach marked a significant departure from the Templars' traditional image as warriors. Gilbert's efforts to foster mutual understanding led to temporary truces and a reduction in hostilities, allowing the order to focus on its spiritual mission and charitable endeavors. However, this strategy was not without its critics. Many within the Templar ranks viewed his willingness to engage with Muslim leaders as a compromise of their sacred duty to defend Christianity. Despite these internal tensions, Gilbert remained steadfast, emphasizing the importance of preserving lives and maintaining the Order's presence in the region. His leadership was also marked by a commitment to the Templars' spiritual and monastic ideals. At a time when the Order's wealth and military power were growing, Gilbert worked to ensure that the Templars did not lose sight of their original purpose, to protect pilgrims and uphold their vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. His dedication to these principles earned him respect both within and outside the Order. Gilbert's tenure came to an end with his death in 1200, leaving behind a complex legacy. While his diplomatic efforts did not result in lasting peace, they demonstrated the potential for coexistence in a deeply divided world. His successor, Philippe du Plessis, inherited an order that was more politically nuanced than ever before, setting the stage for the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. Gilbert Horrell's story reminds us that leadership is not always about wielding a sword. It's about knowing when to extend a hand. Philip of Plessis assumed the role of Grand Master in the early 13th century, a time when the Crusader states were increasingly vulnerable and the Fourth Crusade took a dramatically unexpected turn. Instead of targeting the Holy Land, the Crusade's leaders redirected their efforts toward Constantinople, resulting in the sack of the city in 1204. This event marked a significant departure from the original mission of the Crusades and highlighted the growing complexity of political and military priorities in the region. Recognizing the diminishing prospects in the Holy Land, Philip shifted the Templars' focus toward safeguarding their interests in Europe. He understood that the Order's survival depended not only on its military strength, but also on its ability to navigate the intricate web of European politics. Under his leadership, the Templars worked to maintain their vast network of estates, fortifications, and financial assets, which were critical to their operations. Philip also prioritized the order's reputation, ensuring that its image as a disciplined and pious organization remained intact. This was no small task, as the Templars' wealth and power began to attract envy and suspicion from European monarchs. Despite these challenges, Philip managed to steer the order through a turbulent period, preserving its influence and resources for future generations. His tenure came to an end with his death in 1209, leaving his successor to confront the rising tensions between the Templars and the European powers. The stage was set for a new chapter in the Order's history, one that would test its resilience in the face of growing hostility. Philip's legacy is a testament to the importance of adaptability in leadership, showing how the Templars evolved to meet the changing demands of their time. His efforts to secure the Order's future remind us that survival often requires not just strength, but also a keen understanding of the world around us. William of Chartres took the reins of the Knights Templar during a time of profound uncertainty and decline. By the early 13th century, the once thriving Crusader states had dwindled to a shadow of their former glory, and the Islamic forces under leaders like Saladin had reclaimed much of the Holy Land. William's tenure as Grand Master was marked by a relentless effort to stabilize the Order's position and protect the few remaining Crusader strongholds. He recognized that the Templars' survival depended not only on their military prowess, but also on their ability to adapt to the changing geopolitical landscape. One of his key priorities was internal reform, ensuring that the Templars maintained their discipline and integrity in the face of growing external pressures. William worked to streamline the Order's administrative processes and reinforce its financial stability, which had become increasingly strained. His leadership during the Fifth Crusade exemplified his commitment to the Templars' mission. Despite the campaign's ultimate failure to achieve its objectives, William's strategic acumen and dedication were evident in his efforts to coordinate with other Christian forces and navigate the complex alliances of the time. Tragically, his life was cut short in 1219 when he died of illness during the siege of Damietta in Egypt. His passing marked the end of an era for the Templars, leaving his successor to confront the daunting task of leading the Order through its final years in the Holy Land. William's legacy is a testament to the resilience required to lead in times of decline. His ability to balance military strategy with internal reform highlights the multifaceted challenges faced by the Templars as they struggled to maintain their relevance in a rapidly changing world. As we reflect on his contributions, it's clear that William's leadership provided a crucial foundation for the Order's continued efforts, even as the tides of history began to turn against them. The stage was now set for the next leader who would grapple with the Templars' final chapter in the Holy Land, a period defined by both determination and inevitable change. Peter of Montaigu emerged as the 14th Grand Master of the Knights Templar at a time when the Crusader presence in the Holy Land was teetering on the brink of collapse. His leadership began in 1239, a period marked by relentless Muslim advances and the steady erosion of Christian territories. Peter's tenure was defined by his unwavering commitment to defending Acre, the last major Crusader stronghold, which had become a symbol of resistance against the overwhelming tide of Islamic forces. Acre's fall would signify the end of the Crusader states, and Peter understood the stakes better than anyone. He orchestrated a valiant defense, rallying the Templars and their allies to fortify the city against repeated sieges. The Sixth Crusade, which unfolded during his leadership, was a desperate attempt to reclaim lost ground. However, the campaign was plagued by internal divisions among the Christian factions, weakening their collective resolve. Despite his strategic efforts, Peter could not stem the tide of history. In 1291, Acre fell to the Mamluks after a brutal and protracted siege. Peter was captured during the chaos and met a grim fate at the hands of his captors. His execution marked not only the end of the Templars' presence in the Holy Land, but also the closing chapter of the Crusades themselves. With their mission in the East effectively over, the Templars shifted their focus to Europe, where they sought to redefine their role in a rapidly changing world. Peter's leadership, though ultimately unable to prevent the inevitable, stands as a testament to the Templars' resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. His defense of Acre became a defining moment in the Order's history, symbolizing both their courage and the harsh realities of their decline. As we turn to the Templars' next chapter, their transition to Europe would bring new challenges and opportunities, reshaping their identity in ways that would leave a lasting impact on history. Amand de Périgord took the reins of the Knights Templar in 1232, steering the order toward a new era of European prominence. With the Holy Land increasingly slipping from Crusader control, Amand recognized the need to shift focus inward, consolidating the Templars' vast network of resources and influence across Europe. Under his leadership, the Order's financial empire flourished, with its banking operations becoming a cornerstone of medieval commerce. Templar preceptories or commanderies expanded across the continent, serving as both economic hubs and centers of military power. Amand's vision extended beyond mere wealth accumulation. He sought to position the Templars as indispensable allies to Europe's ruling elite. His diplomatic acumen was particularly evident in his dealings with monarchs like King Louis IX of France and Emperor Frederick II. These relationships were delicate, requiring a balance between loyalty to the Church and the pragmatic interests of secular rulers. Amand's ability to navigate these complexities ensured the Templars' continued relevance in a rapidly changing political landscape. However, his tenure was not without challenges. The growing scrutiny of the Order's wealth and autonomy began to sow seeds of distrust among some European leaders. Amand's death in 1244 marked a turning point, leaving his successor to grapple with these mounting pressures. As the Templars' European influence reached its zenith, so too did the challenges they faced from those who questioned their power. This tension would only intensify in the decades to follow, setting the stage for the eventual decline of the Order. The next leader who inherited this precarious position would find himself at the forefront of an escalating conflict that would test the very foundation of the Templars' existence. William de Sonnac emerged as the 16th Grand Master of the Knights Templar, inheriting a role fraught with peril and dwindling resources. His leadership coincided with the Seventh Crusade, launched by King Louis IX of France in 1248. William's tenure was defined by his unwavering courage in the face of overwhelming odds, as the Crusaders struggled to regain footholds in the Holy Land. He led the Templars with a blend of strategic insight and raw determination, rallying his knights in battles that would become legendary for their intensity and tragedy. One of the most defining moments of his leadership came during the Battle of Mansoura in 1250, where the Templars fought valiantly against the forces of the Ayyubid Sultanate. William himself fought on the front lines, even after losing an eye in an earlier engagement. His resilience and refusal to retreat exemplified the Templar ethos of unyielding devotion to their cause. However, the battle ultimately ended in disaster for the Crusaders, and William met his end in the chaotic clash, marking a somber turning point for the Order. His death underscored the growing futility of the Crusades and the Templars' waning influence in the region. The loss of such a formidable leader left a void that would be difficult to fill, as the order faced mounting pressures both on and off the battlefield. The growing resentment toward the Templars' wealth and autonomy was beginning to take root in Europe, setting the stage for the challenges that would confront their next leader. As William's successor took the helm, the once mighty order found itself navigating a landscape of increasing skepticism and hostility, foreshadowing the turbulent years ahead. Renaud de Vichiers, the 17th Grand Master of the Knights Templar, stepped into leadership during a period of profound uncertainty for the order. Known for his diplomatic acumen and strategic foresight, Renaud focused on preserving the Templars' reputation and assets in the face of growing skepticism across Europe. His tenure was marked by a series of delicate negotiations with European monarchs and ecclesiastical leaders, as he sought to secure the order's financial stability and political support. Renaud understood that the Templars' growing wealth and influence had made them a target of envy and suspicion, and he worked tirelessly to counter these perceptions. One of his key achievements was strengthening ties with King Louis IX of France, who respected the Templars for their role in the Crusades and their logistical expertise. Renaud's ability to navigate these complex relationships helped stave off immediate threats to the order's survival. However, the challenges he faced were immense. The Crusades were increasingly seen as futile, and the Templars' once heroic image was beginning to fade. Renaud also had to contend with internal pressures, as the order struggled to adapt to a rapidly changing world. His leadership was defined by a careful balancing act, defending the Templars' legacy while preparing for an uncertain future. Despite his efforts, the seeds of the order's downfall had already been sown. The next Grand Master would inherit not only Renaud's achievements, but also the mounting challenges that would ultimately lead to the Templars' dissolution. Renaud's tenure serves as a testament to the power of diplomacy in the face of adversity, a skill that would prove crucial in the order's final years. As the Templars transitioned to their next leader, they stood on the brink of a trial that would test their very existence. Thomas Bertrand, the 18th Grand Master of the Knights Templar, assumed leadership during one of the most turbulent periods in the order's history. His tenure, beginning in 1256, was marked by a rising tide of suspicion and hostility toward the Templars across Europe. As whispers of heresy and corruption began to circulate, Thomas found himself at the center of a storm that threatened to dismantle the centuries-old order. The Templars, once celebrated as defenders of Christendom, were now being portrayed as secretive and self-serving, their vast wealth and power making them a target for envy and mistrust. Thomas worked diligently to counter these accusations, emphasizing the order's dedication to their original mission and its contributions to the Crusades. He sought to maintain alliances with key European leaders, including King Henry III of England, but the growing skepticism proved difficult to overcome. Meanwhile, the political landscape was shifting. The Crusades were losing momentum, and the Templars' role as a military and financial powerhouse was increasingly questioned. Thomas also faced internal challenges as the order struggled to adapt to these changing circumstances. Despite his efforts, the accusations against the Templars continued to mount, fueled by rumors and misinformation. Thomas's leadership was defined by his unwavering commitment to defending the order's legacy, even as the walls seemed to close in around him. His death in 1273 marked the end of an era for the Templars, leaving the order vulnerable and exposed. The next Grand Master would inherit not only Thomas's challenges, but also the full force of the forces aligned against the Templars. Thomas Bertrand's tenure serves as a poignant reminder of how swiftly fortune can turn, even for an institution as powerful as the Knights Templar. As the Order moved toward its final chapter, the stakes could not have been higher. The next leader would face the ultimate test of the Templars' survival in an increasingly hostile world. William de Beaujeu, the 19th and final Grand Master to lead the Knights Templar in the Holy Land, stands as a symbol of resilience and sacrifice during one of the most harrowing chapters in the Order's history. Appointed in 1273, William inherited a legacy of power and prestige, but also a world that was rapidly changing. The Crusader states were crumbling under the relentless pressure of Muslim forces, and the Templars' once unassailable position was increasingly precarious. William's leadership was defined by his determination to defend what remained of the Christian foothold in the region, even as the odds grew insurmountable. His most defining moment came during the Siege of Acre in 1291, a brutal and chaotic conflict that marked the end of Crusader presence in the Holy Land. On the front lines, William fought valiantly to rally his troops, urging them to hold the line against overwhelming forces. Tragically, he was struck by an arrow during the battle, succumbing to his wounds as the city fell into enemy hands. His death was a devastating blow to the Templars, who lost not only a leader but also their last stronghold in the east. William's legacy is one of unwavering courage and loyalty, a testament to the ideals he upheld even in the face of inevitable defeat. His leadership during the fall of Acre underscored the Templars' commitment to their mission, even as their world crumbled around them. After the loss of Acre, the Order retreated to Europe, where they faced a new set of challenges. The once revered knights found themselves increasingly isolated and vulnerable, their purpose and reputation under siege from both external and internal forces. William de Beaujeu's story serves as a poignant reminder of the Templars' final days in the Holy Land, a time of heroism and heartbreak that would forever shape their legacy. As the Order regrouped in Europe, they would soon confront another, even more existential threat, one that would ultimately lead to their dissolution. Thibaud Gaudin stepped into the role of Grand Master in 1291, inheriting a Templar order in disarray after the catastrophic fall of Acre. As the 20th leader, his tenure was marked by urgency and the monumental task of rebuilding the shattered organization. With the Crusader presence in the Holy Land now a memory, Gaudin focused his efforts on Cyprus, where the Templars had established a new base. Though his leadership was brief, lasting just over a year, Gaudin worked tirelessly to stabilize the Order. He sought to re-establish the Templars' financial and military infrastructure, relying on the resources they had managed to salvage from Acre. Yet the challenges were immense. The Templars' once vast network of support was dwindling, and their purpose as defenders of the faith was increasingly questioned in a world that no longer saw them as indispensable. Gaudin's death in 1292 marked the end of this interim period, leaving the Order once again without a clear direction. His successor, Jacques de Molay, would face even greater trials as the Templars entered their final chapter. The struggles Gaudin encountered during his short tenure foreshadowed the existential crisis that would soon consume the Order. As the Templars attempted to redefine their role in a changing world, they found themselves increasingly at odds with powerful forces in Europe. The stage was set for a confrontation that would lead to their suppression, marking the end of one of the most storied institutions in medieval history. Jacques de Molay, the 21st and final Grand Master of the Knights Templar, emerged as the tragic figurehead of an order on the brink of collapse. Elected in 1292, de Molay inherited a Templar organization that was struggling to adapt in a world increasingly hostile to its existence. For over a decade, he worked to navigate the complex political landscape of Europe, attempting to secure the Order's future. But his efforts were met with growing resistance, particularly from King Philip IV of France, whose mounting debts and ambitions made the Templars an easy target. In 1307, de Molay and several of his fellow knights were arrested in a surprise raid. Accused of heresy, blasphemy, and other fabricated crimes, they were subjected to brutal interrogations and forced confessions under torture. The trial that followed was a sham designed to dismantle the Templars and seize their vast wealth. Despite immense pressure, de Molay remained defiant. He retracted his forced confession in a dramatic public statement, declaring his innocence and the purity of the Order's mission. His courage came at a cost. On March 18, 1314, Jacques de Molay was burned at the stake on the Isle de la Cité in Paris. Legend has it that as the flames consumed him, he issued a curse, calling upon King Philip and Pope Clement V to join him within a year. Remarkably, both men died within that time, adding a layer of mystery to his legacy. The suppression of the Templars marked the end of an era, but the story of Jacques de Molay lived on. His steadfastness in the face of injustice transformed him into a symbol of resistance and integrity, ensuring that the Templars' memory would endure long after their fall. The aftermath of the Order's dissolution saw its assets seized, its members scattered, and its influence diminished. Yet, the Templars' legacy continued to inspire countless myths, legends, and debates, cementing their place in history as one of the most enigmatic and enduring institutions of the medieval world. The suppression of the Knights Templar in the early 14th century was not merely a political maneuver but a seismic event that reshaped medieval Europe. The Order, once revered for its role in the Crusades and its vast wealth, found itself ensnared in a web of accusations, greed, and betrayal. King Philip IV of France, often called Philip the Fair, played a central role in the Templars' downfall. Burdened by debts from his wars and influenced by advisors eager to consolidate power, Philip saw the Templars as a threat and an opportunity. In 1307, he orchestrated a coordinated arrest of Templar leaders across France, including Grand Master Jacques de Molay. The charges leveled against them were shocking heresy, idolatry, and blasphemy, each designed to tarnish their reputation and justify their persecution. These accusations were fueled by rumors and coerced confessions extracted under torture, a grim reality of the medieval justice system. The trials that followed were far from impartial. Many Templars were forced to admit to crimes they did not commit, their confessions used as evidence against the entire order. Despite the lack of credible proof, the Templars were condemned, their assets seized, and their members imprisoned or executed. The suppression of the Templars sent ripples across Europe, undermining trust in both secular and religious authorities. For many, it was a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the fragility of even the most influential institutions. Yet the Templars' story did not end with their dissolution. Their legacy endured, inspiring centuries of fascination and speculation. Scholars, writers, and historians have debated their true motives, their supposed secrets, and the fairness of their trials. In modern times, the Templars have become a symbol of mystery and resilience, their tale woven into countless books, films, and conspiracy theories. From Freemasonry to popular culture, their influence persists, a testament to the enduring power of their story. The suppression of the Knights Templar was a pivotal moment in history, one that continues to captivate and intrigue, reminding us of the complex interplay between power, ambition, and justice. The Knights Templar may have been disbanded over 7 centuries ago, but their legacy lives on in ways that continue to captivate the imagination. Modern organizations, such as Freemasonry and certain fraternal orders, trace their roots back to the Templars, drawing inspiration from their ideals of brotherhood, discipline, and service. While the historical connections between these groups and the original Templars are often debated, the influence of the Templars' mystique is undeniable. Their story has also left an indelible mark on literature and popular culture. From the medieval tales of chivalry to the modern thrillers of authors like Dan Brown, the Templars have become synonymous with intrigue, secrecy, and adventure. Their supposed hidden treasures, including the fabled Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant, have fueled countless stories and legends, blending history with myth in a way that keeps their story alive. The Templars' influence extends beyond fiction. Historians and archaeologists continue to study their achievements, from their innovative banking systems to their architectural marvels like the Temple Church in London. Their role in shaping medieval Europe's economic and military landscapes remains a subject of fascination and debate. Yet, it is perhaps the unanswered questions surrounding the Templars that make their legacy so enduring. Were they truly guilty of the crimes leveled against them, or were they victims of a larger political game? Did they possess sacred relics or esoteric knowledge that has been lost to time? These mysteries have sparked endless speculation, turning the Templars into a symbol of the unknown and the unknowable. Their story reminds us of the power of history to inspire wonder and curiosity, bridging the gap between the past and the present. As we reflect on the fates of the Templars and their leaders, we are reminded of the complexities of power, faith, and human ambition. Their rise and fall serve as a timeless lesson in the fragility of even the most formidable institutions and the enduring allure of those who dare to challenge the status quo. The Knights Templar may be gone, but their legacy continues to shape our world in ways both profound and mysterious. The fates of the 25 distinguished leaders of the Knights Templar reveal a tapestry of courage, sacrifice, and resilience that continues to resonate centuries later. Some leaders, like Jacques de Molay, met their end with unwavering defiance, choosing martyrdom over renouncing their order. His final moments, marked by a curse said to have brought about the downfall of his persecutors, have become a symbol of steadfast loyalty even in the face of certain death. Others, like Gerard de Montbard, fell in battle, their lives a testament to the Templars' commitment to their cause, no matter the cost. Then there were those who faced execution after the order's suppression, their deaths a chilling reminder of the political forces that could dismantle even the most powerful institutions. Their diverse paths highlight the complexities of leadership during turbulent times, where decisions often carried life or death consequences. Through their stories, we see enduring themes of bravery in adversity, the weight of responsibility, and the unyielding spirit to protect what they believed in. These leaders' lives offer lessons in resilience, reminding us that even in the darkest moments, the legacy of one's convictions can outlast the trials they endure. Their fates also underscore the fragility of power and the importance of integrity, as their choices not only shaped their own lives but the course of history itself. The Templars' story is not just one of triumph or tragedy, but a profound reminder of the human capacity to stand firm in the face of overwhelming odds. Their legacy invites us to reflect on the values we hold dear and the lengths we are willing to go to defend them. The stories of these 25 leaders of the Knights Templar paint a vivid picture of a time when faith, power, and ambition collided in ways that shaped the course of history. From the unwavering resolve of Jacques de Molay to the battlefield sacrifices of Gerard de Montbard, their lives were marked by both extraordinary courage and profound tragedy. These men stood at the helm of an order that wielded immense influence, yet their fates remind us that even the mightiest can fall under the weight of political intrigue and shifting alliances. Their legacies, however, endure not just as symbols of a bygone era, but as timeless lessons in integrity, leadership, and the cost of conviction. The Templars' rise and fall teach us about the fragility of power, the importance of staying true to one's principles, and the enduring impact of standing firm in the face of adversity. Today, their story continues to captivate, offering insights into the complexities of human ambition and the resilience of the human spirit. As we reflect on their journeys, let us remember that history is not just a record of the past but a mirror that reflects timeless truths about our own lives and choices. To delve deeper into the fascinating world of the Knights Templar, explore the resources in the description below and share your thoughts in the comments. What lessons do you take from their legacy? As we close, let these words linger. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. May their stories inspire us to face our own challenges with the same steadfastness and resolve.